My father had not agreed to any exhibition throughout his life. He never felt that his time was right because he was always working. What is he like as a family man? What is he like as a father? I hadn't really thought about that. So that was really how this project began. He grew up in Suzhou. Home was connected through courtyards and through pavilions. And he also was quite inspired by the modernist movement in architecture. He came to the United States to learn about that. East and West, he thought that there was perfectly fine to blend the two. The Louvre or the Fragrant Hill Hotel, these are projects as examples of his being very controversial. What he was trying to do is to bring a modernist vocabulary into a context that was often full of tradition and history, to merge or integrate contemporary design with tradition.
很多法国的建筑师，他们其实不太满意为什么选美国人、华裔美国人来建罗浮宫，可是他们不能否认，贝先生的整个规划都是对巴黎城市规划非常有大的贡献。整个设计策略是在于地下室，把整个两边罗浮宫连接在一起，而且又是把地铁跟罗浮串在一起，非常系统性的那种设计。贝先生的设计逻辑是非常周到的，可是不一定看得到。好像中影非常 eternal enduring， 可是呢，一读到这个建筑到底是怎么建，我就有点惊叹，因为它的 budget 比汇丰银行1/3，可是建得那么高，而且那个地盘很小，你要怎么在非常大限制的情况下做这种高楼，直到现在还是非常有那种魅力啊。苏博也是很有趣的。有人说 ，OK， 如果贝先生不用传统瓦片来做屋顶的话，你不要让他接到这个项目。贝先生写了一封信给吴良用，我不用这个瓦片，因为我对历史传统是有不一样的态度。华盛顿公馆，1969年开始设计的，这好像是一个 garden， 你可以享受这个空间，不一定直接到展厅来看艺术品。贝先生他的宗旨，博物馆设计应该有这种公共性。
And I was in high school at the time, and suddenly he was all over the news.
Back in 1964, architect I.M. Pei was selected to design the building.
That's quite a big event for a young person, to suddenly see your father, not just as a father, but somebody that the world is suddenly being introduced to. I took my first course in architecture as a junior, and I was very lucky to have an architect friend as a father. He didn't really want to be in the public eye so much, but he really enjoyed most of all being alone, quiet, just he and his wife. He liked art, music. He was very curious, very open and generous. He liked people, but he didn't seek publicity. So he didn't have lots of friends, but those people he had friendships with were very deep, long-lasting. And then the aspect of my father at home was very different. He wanted to know about my wife, my daughter, what I was doing. Why do you like rock music? Or something like that, he might say. Every time I approach a project, I think about him in some way. What would he do? It's very difficult to know what he's going to do because he always does something that you don't really expect. Chinese history goes back thousands of years, and he always thought about that. We're a part of a long, long history. Architecture is history. He always thought of himself as just an architect who's practicing in a particular time in the calendar of life. And he thought times will change. He was designing at this particular time in his life.